This has been an interesting journey to get to this season. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with Season 3, Episode 1 of Fire Force. And yeah, as I said in the cold open there, it's been an interesting journey, not because of like the time between Seasons 2 and 3 or anything, but because of these past couple weeks with getting to these reactions. So, like what, 3 weeks ago now, Season 3 started airing. And the previous seasons have been like simuldubbed, and so I'm expecting, okay, we're going to get a simuldub with this. And so I was going to start the reactions last week. The day before, I'm like going to download the episode. It's like Monday night. I'm trying to download it for Tuesday. And I notice there's no dub. And I'm looking through all these different sites and I can't find the dub anywhere. And so I look it up and yeah, the dub's just not out yet. And so I'm like, nice time to figure that out. And so I had to randomly decide something to just put in its place because I just didn't want to like have that spot empty for who knows how long. I didn't know when the dub was going to come. And for those wondering, we're doing the dub because that's what we've been doing. And honestly, after hearing both, I just kind of prefer the dub. But it wasn't out, and so I couldn't get to it. So I had to really quickly decide to replace it with something. And so I decided out of like completely left field to replace it with a series called Sit Down, Shut Up. We'd get to that in the meantime, and we'd get to Fire Force at first chance after we could. But I checked out the first episode of Sit Down, Shut Up last week, and it was so goddamn bad. It wasn't just outdated. It like even in the time it came out, it was offensive beyond measure. I still say it's probably one of the most offensive things I've ever reacted to slash watched, especially in terms of animated shows. Like, I wouldn't call it the most offensive when stuff like Family Guy or South Park exists, but it's up there. It's so unapologetically racist, sexist. Like, it's creepy. Like, and, I mean, I think you're not supposed to necessarily, like, side with those characters, but still. Anyways, the point is, it was just upsetting for me. And I was trying to find a way out of it, but couldn't think of really anything else to replace it with for the time being. And so I was going to basically just try to give it a little bit more of a chance. And then I think it was last Thursday, it was revealed, oh, by the way, in like a day, the Fire Force dub is coming out. Just announced it out of nowhere. And it's like, well, all right. I guess we'll just go back to Fire Force again. Just go with our original plan. It's like just such a wacky like set of circumstances that just ended up right back where we started. And so now we're here. And there's still a lot of things that are not resolved with this series that I assume will be resolved in this season. The season I think is going to be 2 cores, from what I heard, or 2 separate releases or whatever. And we're only getting the first one now. I think the second one's going to be in the fall, if I heard right. So we're going to be skipping a season in between. But I don't know exactly where this is going or how this is going to end. I'm very curious, very interested, because at the end of last season, we saw Haumea with the moon from Soul Eater, confirming what a lot of us already knew, that it's in the same universe, that this is a prequel to Soul Eater. And a lot of people knew that because of the reveal in the manga and everything. I knew it because I was just spoiled to it. But luckily, the end of Season 2 confirmed this for us, and so I could talk about that. I didn't have to hold that in any longer. But yeah, it's a prequel to to Soul Eater. I'm really curious to see if it like explains how that comes about, because I feel like they're very different. Not in terms of tone necessarily, though the tone can be a little wackier, I would say, in Soul Eater at times. Um, I would say more in terms of the world and the situations at hand. Like, even like what they're facing and everything. Like Ashura, I believe his name was, is not obviously in Fire Force, but even beyond that, it's like I can't remember what they're called, but the beings that Ashura was like the main one of in Soul Eater, the ones that they were fighting, they're not in this either. Meaning that they would have had to have been they would have had to come into being after the events of this, or during at least the end game events of this. So I don't know. There's also the pink-haired girl whose name I can't remember right now. We need to save her because she is traumatized and doesn't realize it, and is in a really bad place and just thinks that being with the white clads is a good thing for her. We also have the baby from last season who we didn't save and just let remain in this abusive, horrific situation that he was in. Hated that. Like, I aggressively hated that. And then we also have Show. We have to, like, deal with whatever's going on there eventually. Whether it's rescuing him or, like, at least making him see the lights. A lot of stuff to go on. One of my biggest questions for this season is, are they actually going to make Tamaki a real character in this? Or is she just going to be there to be, you know, stupid fan service that nobody likes? She is, like, actively hated by the fandom. Because she ruins the series. Like, the tone and everything, the fan service, it just completely ruins everything the series is otherwise working towards. And I mean, I guess it doesn't ruin it completely. It doesn't, like, destroy the enjoyment of the rest of the show. But, like, she's not a character. She's there purely for fan service. She's a plot device at best. Every time they try to give her a little bit of character, they undermine it by just doing her stupid fan servicey bullshit. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. There is good fan service in this show that actually, you know, furthers the plot even. There are moments where there's fan service shown, but it's the scenes are used to further the plot and further the overall intent of the show. And that fan service is fine. Fan service isn't inherently bad, but it's when it's done for its own sake, and when it's, like, only there to be sexually gratifying to the male viewers. It's like that's when it's bad fan service, because it doesn't serve any other purpose. It's a waste of time that could be used for better things, to further the plot, the character developments, etc., etc. Last season had a very distressingly low amount of oh my god, what is her name? The female captain. I can't think of her name. The one I really have a thing for. Hibana, Princess Hibana. The second season had an extremely distressingly small amount of her in it, despite season 1 setting her up in a very big way. And while other characters like Benimaru still got a chance to shine, it really did upset me a bit that she took, like, not even just a back seat, but she practically disappeared. I hope she has a bigger role to play in this season, because if you're like putting time towards having Tamaki's bullshit be on screen, you could absolutely instead rather have Princess Hibana's bullshit, because at least that bullshit is well written. Also, just better. um, I just really, really hate Tamaki. Because the series seems to hate Tamaki. And it's just I don't know if I made this comparison before, but I think the best comparison I can make for Tamaki is she's like One Piece and Sanji. Like, obviously Sanji's more of the pervert character, while Tamaki is the one who gets accidentally perved on. But they're both characters whose entire gag is perversion, is sexual fan service. With Sanji, it's seeking it out. With her, it's accidentally getting involved in it. But it's still the same basic idea. And both of these character traits, if you want to call them that, drastically hurt their characters and ruin any goodwill that the characters otherwise have. Sanji has some amazing moments and some amazing developments in the series that are completely undermined by the entire gag. Especially when he goes beyond just being, into women, and when he starts to be, a sexual assaulter. Sneaking into a woman's bath to spy on them naked is sexual assault. Just saying. I'm rewatching Wano, so it's fresh on my mind. But Tamaki is just as bad. It's like every time they try to do something for her character, it's completely undermined with her stupid, lecherous leecher thing, whatever the fuck it's called. And it just completely destroys any goodwill toward her character. And it sucks because the potential is absolutely there. I love her powers. The cat powers, the cat fire power, is actually really cool. But when her entire character is ruined by this one gag, it makes her a waste of time. It makes her screen time a waste of time. And the biggest thing is that I don't think it's going to change. Like, the original manga probably just kept it up, and it probably didn't change at all by the end. And that really sucks, because that means that it'll forever be a blight on this series. A series that otherwise is mostly good. There's issues here and there. Like I said, giving the kid back, I can't remember his name, giving him back to his abuser was a horrifically bad decision. And was, very fucked up, actually. But it's just... I think we should just get on with this. I think we prefaced this enough. As many issues as I do have with this series, like, there is so much to love about it when it actually focuses on the plot and gets into that kind of stuff. It's amazing. I love Maki, I love Hibana, I love Obi, I love our main character Shinra. The Whiteclads are a great set of villains. Hameya especially is very entertaining. I'm just excited to see how this ends up, ending. Because we're definitely going to get into the big battles, the big reveals, the big exceptional moments here. It's going to get better than ever. And by the way, I don't know if the opening is in this episode. I do know who sings the opening. So I'm excited for that. I don't know if the opening is going to be in this episode, but I really hope it is. We'll see. But for the time being, let's get into this and hope for the best. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Well, it looks like Captain Burns has been drinking the Kool-Aid, because he's fully in on this cult. And it really sucks, because Burns was a reasonable man. But Haumea knew exactly what to say and how to say it, because of this ability, talking head or whatever. Which it's like, that just sounds like a JoJo stand. It's like, I don't know if the intent was for it to be named after the band, the Talking Heads, but, like, that's instantly obviously what I thought of. It's like, that's just a JoJo thing. But yeah, so Haumea has completely gaslit the First into joining the Whiteclads, after having already gaslit just the government as a whole. It's a pure and simple infiltration. And it was completely successful. The fact that they got the First on their side also poses a massive problem. But it also makes sense that it's the First. It makes sense that they didn't go after one of the other companies, because Benimaru wouldn't have fallen for this shit. Like, absolutely not. I don't think Hibana would have either. I think Burns is the perfect person, because of how straight-laced and loyal he is. It worked so much against him in this case. But they used this infiltration to arrest Obi, and are planning to have the insect enter him, which is either going to cause him to gain fire powers or turn into I can't think of the name of it right now. The fire monsters, you know what I mean. Infernos or whatever. Infernals? I think it's Infernals. You know what I mean, though. It's been a while. They had the recap at the beginning here, but it's like, yeah, because I think they said Demon Infernal. Yeah. It's like, it's going to take me a little bit to get reacquainted with everything. But yeah, so it's like, either Obi's going to become a fire user or an Infernal. That's the goal here. Which I think either way, they're going to try to, like, turn him on the rest of the 8th. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see exactly what their plan is, because we only, like, get a little bit of it here. But they're definitely trying to sow discord within the Fire Force in order to basically take out their big competition. Especially after what's happened already with these battles and whatnot. They kind of need to. And this isn't something I think I touched on before, but I really do want to touch on it right now. It's really interesting that the entire thing is about, like, you know, worshipping Sol and everything, like, the sun as their god and all. And like, Haumea's even, like, preaching about that as part of her gaslighting and everything in this. But she's creaming her fucking pants over the moon. which is really interesting, and I feel like is a very intentional choice to show us that the White Clads aren't really following the will of the son of Saul, that they're actually like completely going the opposite route. That very much feels like the intent here. Um Now, not much else happened in this. After Obi was taken, the Eighth decides to go rescue him and everything, but that's pretty much it. The big thing was definitely Hamea's Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girlboss ability. Um, and if I'm being honest, the moment with the Eighth accepting to go after him turning goofy was a little weird to me. It's like that should have been a very serious, intense moment with all of them pledging to go rescue Obi. Why were they goofy about it? Why was it turning into a joke with them going chibi style and Arthur stumbling over his words and Tamaki saying that she's joining them because it's her mission to follow the crowd or some shit? It's basically what she said. To do whatever they're going to do. And it's just like, why is this so silly in tone? Of all things, this should not be silly in tone. Like, having a little of the silliness and, like, Tamaki's lecture bullshit during their training and all is one thing. Because that's, like, kind of like a little montage training moment. While reintroducing us to lore and everything with Obi giving the report. Just a recap of what's been going on while it shows them training. Like, that's fine. But the tone here just felt like completely out of place with them during this pledging to save Obi moment. It feels like that needed to be a lot more serious. So, maybe that's just me, but that is one of this show's biggest issues, to be fair. The tone is not always great. It's kind of all over the place, and it really is one of its biggest flaws at times. Tamaki alone is proof of that. But we get to see pretty much all of the White Clads that we knew, right? And so I feel like we're going to get to see more of them throughout the season, including our girl there. But the tone of the opening is very interesting to me. Because this has happened in various shows before where an opening will get suddenly like less bombastic, less exciting, less serious, and or not less serious, less fun and more serious. It starts to like take a very serious, very intense tone change. And that's not always like with like really like hard music or whatnot. Sometimes it's very soft and quiet. One Piece has done this, for example, and many other shows. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood has done this, and it's very much representing this period of the anime. Having Queen Bee come in, like my initial thought when I first heard that Queen Bee was doing the opening for this season, I was excited because I love Queen Bee, and I was thinking that this was going to be standard Queen Bee, where it's very raucous and rambunctious and wild and fun. A lot of like growling and whatnot, which Avu-chan is so good at. Avu-chan is the lead singer of Queen Bee, by the way. They're amazing. But instead, we get a softer song. A song that has a more serious, down-to-earth tone that's showing that stuff's about to get serious, stuff's about to get dark, and it's probably going to get sad. And Avu-chan sings it perfectly, of course, because I haven't heard a song where they don't sing perfectly. But it's very different from a lot of their other music. If you've heard their song from like the first opening of Dororo, the first opening of Undead Unluck, or one of the endings of Chainsaw Man, I don't remember which number it is because there's so many. There's like a different one each episode. It's the one. It's called Violence for that one. Um, I love Queen Bee so much, and yeah, I definitely am gonna have to hear the full version of this song, and I'm gonna obviously watch the opening many more times. But this is definitely one of those openings where it just takes a serious turn in tone, and it's meant to be more heavy and emotional, while the song is a lot softer and quieter. It's really good in that regard. But I'm definitely gonna have to see the opening more times to really get a feel for it. But that happens with almost every opening. um, that's not a big surprise. I'm just very interested in this power of Hamea's because we knew she could do weird, creepy shit with her abilities before, but could she do this before? Have we seen her do this before and I'm just not remembering? Because this seems like very specific. And I'm wondering if this is a new power she somehow unlocked during her climax session with the moon. I have no idea what's going on. And I'm still trying to remember everything from the previous season. But this is definitely getting very interesting right off the bat. Like, they're not even wasting time. Like, they're getting right into the White Clads just entirely taking over. Like, very blatantly, too. Like, not even hiding it. I do. The only thing that really irritated me, I think, in this episode is that they try to excuse the decision to return Nataku to Hajima and to his abuser, and it's just like, fuck that shit. It's like, fuck that shit. You literally left him in the hands of someone who was so aggressively abusive to him. You literally put him back into an egregiously dangerous, horrific situation because it'd be safer. No, you're just advocating for the abuse of a child here. It was the wrong decision. It was a bad decision. It was an immoral and evil decision. And I more blame the writer for making this decision than the characters. The characters are kind of in his control. It's just, I just hate it so much. It's like Toko from One Piece. Like, Nataku is just one of those characters I kind of become fiercely protective of, and I really, really fucking hate what they did at the end of last season with him. It's just, it pissed me off. It really did. But yeah, oddly enough, that irritated me a lot more than Tamaki's bullshit in this episode. Because, again, at least that was shown during a not montage. Montage is the wrong word. I know it is. During the recap scene with them fighting and all. I can handle that a little better, even though I know it's going to get annoying later on. Also, there were a lot of like shots that were unnecessarily or needlessly rather focused on characters' tits. Like the one shot that like specifically focused on when Tamaki was zipping up her jacket and everything over her previously having been exposed breasts and all. It's like you don't need to show that. You didn't need to do that. You did not need to focus on that. And then when Hamea's coming out, to surprise Burns and everything, like the very first shot it shows of her coming out is literally just a focus on her tits. A side view focus of her tits. It's like, that's not necessary. You didn't need to do that. You could have shown her feet. I know there's some people who would like that, but that would have been less explicitly fan servicey. You could have shown anything. You just had to focus directly on her tits. It's like, why? Like, listen, I'm not even saying she's unattractive or anything. Like, I'm not saying, like, why are you going to be attracted to Hamea? It's like, she crazy. People are attracted to crazy chicks. It's like, that's just normal. But why? That just felt like a completely needless decision. Even if it was like that in the manga originally. It just, I don't know. I don't know. But either way, this episode definitely sets up the tone for at least this part of the season. And we definitely see that the White Clads are in their end game. They're making their moves bigger than ever and are ready to finally... Excuse me. Sorry about that. And are ready to finally, like, take the steps into making the world a new sun. Like, that's their goal because they're stupid and easily manipulated, and they don't realize you're not going to get eternal life or anything. You're not going to get, like, paradise. You're just going to die. It's like, these people are fucking stupid. It's just an eradication plan. You're not getting any kind of, like, heaven from this. You stupid bitch. It's entertainment, though. I mean, you gotta give it that. All of that being said, I guess we'll see how it goes. Obviously, no spoilers. I have not read the manga. I do not plan to read the manga. I am anime only, and I wish to remain as spoiler-free as possible going forward for this season. So for now, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comments on this episode. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.